For almost 3 years now, the Sony FX3 has been my go-to camera for most of the client work that I do. This thing is a cinematic beast in such a small form factor. And even though this camera is everything that I used to dream about, I'm selling it. And the replacement camera may just surprise you. What's going on, guys? 2024 is here, and I hope that you're starting the year strong and refreshed. For me, I'm hoping that this is one of the most creative years of my entire filmmaking journey here in my life and here on YouTube, but it's off to a very weird start because I am selling my FX3. Not both of them, but I'm 1000% selling one of them immediately. And for you to understand why, I need to give you a little bit of backstory. Since January of 2020, I've been really deep diving into interview-based story videos. Like, I love to tell people's story. There's so much to pull. There's so much humanness in bringing to life a brand or bringing to life an individual story through film. And when I first started doing that, I ended up getting the Blackmagic Pocket 6K. It was kind of a huge step for me because that was the first time I got something that wasn't like a hybrid that could do both, that could do photos. This was me fully committing to the life of video. The ultimate downside to getting the Blackmagic was the more I started filming, the more I started doing very long form story videos. And with the Blackmagic, those files are insanely huge. I started doing more 1 hour, 2 hour interviews, and sometimes it was 2 and 3 a day. And it kind of got a little overwhelming when it came to space. So when it came time to upgrade, along came the Sony FX3. This thing had it all: a full frame sensor, incredible low light, 4K 120, an incredibly small file size compared to the Blackmagic, in-camera image stabilization, a super small form factor. This camera just had it all. And over the last 2 or 3 years, this camera has been my workhorse. This thing has gone with me to different countries. It's gone with me every single shoot that I do. I am bringing my FX3, but this was the camera that I always dreamed of. Everything that I wanted to do in the past, you know, have a smaller form factor, be able to shoot good, clean 4K 60, 4K 120. This thing had it. And it was the perfect companion for the story videos that I did. But then something very, very weird happened. Even though this was the camera that I dreamed of, a camera that I couldn't even conceive of was born. The Ronin 4D kind of stepped into my life and took over everything that I do that was higher end commercial work. Everything that wasn't a story video, I started filming with the Ronin 4D. The Ronin 4D was everything that I needed for myself and my clients built into one. Like, it offered me a few more niche things that the FX3 didn't. And now that the 8K Ronin 4D is out, the image is just spectacular. Because of the Ronin 4D, my FX3 kind of took a back seat in all my commercial shoots. No longer were the days where I was running and gunning with this camera and everything that I owned attached to it. The Ronin 4D kind of had it all built in one. And over time, even the B-roll for the story videos that I was doing, it became more enjoyable to just go ahead and film those with the Ronin 4D. Also, I mean, the camera was always ready. It had a built-in monitor. It had built-in NDs, a built-in gimbal. It literally is just the all-in-one solution for me. And over time, this camera was only used to film long form interviews. And truthfully, this camera is way too good for that to be the only thing that this camera is used for. So I'm downgrading. The camera that I really needed all of this time has truthfully been right here the entire time with me. Like, literally, it is this camera, because much like my clients, you will never know the difference. This is the Sony FX30. And yeah, almost identical in every way, except this is the crop sensor little cousin of the FX3. Half the price, but for me and for what I do for these long form interviews, this is more than enough. And of course, speaking of being more than enough, selling this camera has kind of been a little eye-opening because I have more than enough. And you probably also have more than enough as well. Instead of getting caught up in the rat race of constantly buying and doing new gear, it's really okay to have enough for what you want to do in life. And learning to master and learning to work with the gear that you have is exceptionally important. And cameras, at the end of the day, are just tools. They're just solutions for the types of things that you want to shoot. If you have a problem, if the camera that you're wanting solves that problem, or the gear that you're wanting solves that problem, then it's right for you. But if you're just wanting it to want it, you know, you don't have to feed into that always. I used to feed into that urge constantly. And I kind of do it for YouTube, but I love to test and do other stuff. But I found myself doing it on the work side of things. And this has really helped me take a step back and realize that the FX30 is going to be perfect for what I need it to be. It was originally created to be like the B cam to the FX3 anyway. And that's currently what I'm going to be using it as. I would use an FX3 as my main camera. You know, I still have access to it when I need to, but there's no point in me having two FX3s anymore. This is just an interview camera. I could probably get away with using any camera by throwing my lenses and my cage and my battery outfits on there. But I have the FX3, I have the FX30, and overall, it's just more than enough for me. I am genuinely excited to use the FX30 in my client shoots going forward. It's being used as the B cam as it was originally intended to be. I love the fact that all of the cages, the gear, the lenses, the fittings, the stuff that I have already fits this. I mean, they are virtually identical. The only thing that's changing is the sensor. And for a B cam, that is absolutely fine. I do enjoy the fact that I have access to an FX3 whenever I may need it, but as I've been shooting more and more with the Ronin 4D, I found myself just using this camera a lot less. So yeah, fun fact before we go, I'm also selling my favorite camera. And in case you're new to the channel, I often refer to the FX3 as my dream camera and the Blackmagic Pocket 6K as my favorite camera. The 6K is what I use to film all of these YouTube videos, and it's something that basically kickstarted my filmmaking career. But I'm selling it for something new, and if you want to take a guess at whatever that new camera may be, go ahead and leave a comment down below, because I'm interested, because I am very excited to get my hands on something new to just try for the channel, try for my creative energy, and just have something new to play with and create videos on. So yeah, there's a bunch of new things coming here in 2024. And of course, getting new things, I'm also getting rid of the old things. It's just a new chapter overall. But that's all I have for today, guys. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you loved it, consider subscribing, because I'm bringing you more content just like this every week. So you guys stay safe, you're loved, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.